Well, the Department of Homeland Security is launching a new program to allow U.S. citizens and groups to financially sponsor Ukrainians who are displaced by the war. Now, the Ukrainians selected under the new program will be granted what's called humanitarian parole, and that's going to allow them to bypass the visa and refugee programs, which can take years to complete. CBS News immigration reporter Camilo Montoya Galvez joins me now. Camilo, thanks for being here. So let's talk about this program. Who's eligible to come to the U.S. and what does this particular process look like?
Hi, Carter. This is the first concrete policy that the U.S. government has announced so far to help achieve President Biden's goal of welcoming up to 100,000 Ukrainians displaced by the war in their homeland. The process initially starts with U.S. citizens or groups identifying Ukrainians overseas whom they wish to sponsor, and then these groups or individuals file sponsorship applications. The Department of Homeland Security, Carter, then is tasked with determining whether these prospective sponsors have the financial means to support displaced Ukrainians. Eligible Ukrainians who are selected for this program are then allowed to travel to the U.S. directly, and they enter the U.S. under a process known as humanitarian parole, which will allow them to live and work here for up to 2 years. These Ukrainians will have to undergo security screenings and vaccination against communicable diseases like the coronavirus before entering the U.S., and the program is set to open up for applications next week on April 25th.
So over the last couple of weeks, we've seen a lot of Ukrainians trying to get into the U.S. from the U.S.-Mexico border. The administration says this program is being announced in part to discourage that. What more can you tell us about it?
Yeah, thousands of Ukrainians, Carter, have been traveling to Mexico, often by taking multiple flights from Europe to Mexico to try to reach the U.S. border, where officials have been instructed to exempt Ukrainians from the Title 42 border restrictions and to process them and allow them to enter the country. In March alone, Carter, more than 3,000 Ukrainians were processed along the U.S.-Mexico border. That is an unprecedented number and an 1,100% increase from February. We've never seen so many Ukrainians come to the U.S.-Mexico border. They were coming here, Carter, to the U.S.-Mexico border because they need visas to come to the U.S. directly, and many of them are either ineligible for these visas or they can't seem to be able to obtain them because of massive backlog of applications at U.S. consulates overseas. So the U.S. hopes that through this sponsorship program, it will discourage Ukrainians from going on this journey to Mexico and will actually funnel these people through this program. And they announced today as well, Carter, that starting on Monday, when this sponsorship program will open for applications, they will no longer process and admit Ukrainians who lack visas at the U.S.-Mexico border. So there will be a policy change at the border as well.
So some immigrants' rights groups are raising concerns that Ukrainians are essentially getting preferential treatment here over refugees from, say, South and Central America. Can you see a situation where this type of program would be extended to them as well?
Yeah, advocates have certainly raised concerns about a double standard in the way the U.S. is enforcing not just refugee policy, but border policy. And they point to the fact that Ukrainians have been allowed to enter the country despite these Title 42 restrictions still blocking many asylum seekers and migrants from seeking asylum here in the U.S. during the pandemic. They've also pointed to the fact that there has not been a similar program created for Afghan evacuees who have been submitting tens of thousands of parole requests to the U.S. government. However, the Biden administration did indicate earlier this year, Carter, that it intends to establish a broader private sponsorship program later this year that will allow Americans to help sponsor refugees from different countries across the globe. So I think this smaller private sponsorship program can help the government build up that capacity for this broader initiative that we could see later this year. And this could also help the U.S. increase refugee admissions because during the current fiscal year, the Biden administration, Carter, set out to resettle up to 125,000 refugees, But 6 months in, fewer than 9,000 refugees have been resettled because of the impact that the coronavirus pandemic had on the resettlement system, as well as the impact that numerous Trump-era restrictions had on this system.
Some really good details there. CBS News immigration reporter Camilo Montoya Galvez, thanks for being here tonight.